You are listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast, a proud member of the Canadian Football Podcast Network.
Welcome to the Empire. It's the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
This is Trevor Harris.
Hey, how you doing? This is number 58, Travis Bond. This is Christoph Malumba Chimanga.
Hey there, this is your co-host, Kenny Stafford.
Hey, this is Ryan King.
Calvin McCarty.
And you are listening to...
You're listening to the Eskimos Empire.
You're listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
The Eskimo Empire Podcast. Hope you guys enjoy listening.
Welcome back to the Turf District for the Eskimo Empire Podcast, and we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. On the chance that there are a few new listeners from that network, I'm your host, Andrew, and with me tonight is my good friend, Superfan Mike.
How is it going?
It is going. How about yourself?
You know, as long as I don't have to ruin any of that therapy I've been getting, it's pretty good. We're not going to talk about the game, are we?
Yeah. Well,
there's $150 wasted.
That's right. Yeah. Well, or another. You're just going to have to put another 150 in.
I think so.
Just to recover from the podcast. How was the rest of your weekend, excusing Friday?
Well, I had a great time on Saturday.
Wonderful.
My brother's in town. He's doing a...
excellent.
Yeah, he does reptiles.
Oh, yeah.
Snakes and lizards and frogs and that kind of thing. So I brought some with me. They're running around here somewhere.
Are they?
No.
Perfect. Great.
Slithering.
And that's the end of the show, because I am having nightmares already. Yeah.
No, but there was a trade show. Just coming on a reptile show, and I went to visit him. And then,
reptile trade show.
Yeah, they're trading a lot.
There's some interesting bad comment in there.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Trade your lizards. Okay. Collect the whole set.
Title of the episode.
And then, then went out to a charity silent auction put on by Sean and Janelle Spruill. Sean, of course, has been on the podcast, and Janelle is the one that does those incredible cupcakes. If you have not had a chance to try them out, come down to the tailgate, give them a try. Maybe have her cater one of your events, because they are worth it. Oh, absolutely. We've done birthday cakes for the kids. Oh, yeah.
Unboozy, but they're still amazing.
Some days you wish they were, but...
especially when you have a whole bunch of 9-year-olds running around your house.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh.
And then, it was a good charity event for the Stollery Children's Hospital. I raised a bunch of money for them.
Awesome.
We did it last year. It was fantastic. This year, just as great. And, they had the hockey game on. They had some of the football games on as well. So I got to see some of that. Didn't see as much of the BC-Toronto game, but either did the Argos. So,
were they there?
They were hiding behind. I think that was the problem. It's hard to catch a ball when you're hiding your eyes.
That's very true. Yeah, that could be part of the problem. I had a good weekend as well. I was out calling both the Pee Wee and Bantam games for the Chargers on Sunday. It's like a 6-hour haul to get through both games and all the halftimes and all those types of things. But
gives you an appreciation for sure.
Let me tell you, Al Stafford, you're pretty amazing at what you do, because it's not easy to do that on the fly, but it is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, when you get up there and just play some tunes and kind of get into the game and call what's going on, and it's a lot of fun. So that was really, really good. Took the boys to go see the movie Abominable on Saturday.
That looks good.
And it has some good laughs.
Nice.
Yeah, it has some good laughs.
We're a member of the Disney DVD Club.
Yeah,
and that was the one we checked off to get. So
nice.
Looking
Okay.
forward to that one.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Mm-hmm. So there you go. Before we get into some Esks news, this episode is brought to you in part by Alberta Forest Products Association.
Oh, cool.
If you're an Albertan, chances are you love our forests. With more than 60% of the province covered in them, they're where we play, explore, and work. Over 40,000 Albertans are employed because of our sustainable forestry industry. And before a single tree is harvested, we plan 200 years ahead to ensure healthy forests for years to come. Why? Because you nurture what you love.
Learn more at loveabforests.ca.
And thank you to them. That was very nice for them to take part in sponsoring the show.
Absolutely.
Now, Esks news, as we reported last week in our breaking news on the last show, Danny Vandervoort did sign with the team.
They did.
As it turns out, possibly very good timing, depending on how things go with Tavon Smith this week. So, hey, Canadian depth, we said. It's always a good thing to have.
Yes, it never hurts.
Yeah. So anyway, we will have to see how that turns up. Now,
former 3rd overall pick.
Correct. Yes, and they were comparing him to what was the name of that slot back that used to play in BC and then went to Saskatchewan? Claremont. Yeah, nice. Exactly. Like same kind of body frame and that type of thing. So.
He did all right.
He was okay, yeah. So I'm okay if we have one of those.
Yes.
That's all right by me. So we shall see if he ends up drawing in this week or at least in a backup role. Of course, he's still got to learn the offense.
That could take some time. So. But, I mean, if he's around for, touch wood, playoffs. Then.
Mm-hmm. Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Yeah, we're allowed to have those? Neat. Speaking of, as we get closer to the end of the season, I want to talk about this with you a little bit before we get to the game, and that is, of course, that the trade deadline is looming.
It's coming up in a couple of days.
Exactly.
Basically, right after this comes out.
Absolutely. So the question is are the Eskimos going to make a move? Not too many moves happen in the CFL. It's usually pretty quiet, but we have seen in the last couple of years 1 or 2 little moves go around. So do we see any insurance coming or some other teams that might be looking?
Yeah, I mean, you have to think Toronto has been officially eliminated, and Ottawa they're on the bye, so they need to have a win to stay alive and us to lose out.
Right.
So I think that for sure Toronto we can expect to at least be kicking some tires.
Right.
To see they've got an overload at quarterback, none of whom are signed for next year.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a rental.
So, and there's that thing is it at least if you're looking at that situation, the likelihood of you having to give up an active player is pretty slim.
Yeah, it also depends on that position of strength you're dealing from as well, right? It could be a PR guy. It could be a negotiation list player.
Right.
It could be some sort of draft pick or whatever. You have to think for a quarterback, they're going to ask for at least a draft pick, at least a second or maybe third rounder.
Right.
Maybe something conditional.
Yeah.
If we re-sign him in between now and the next draft, maybe it'll be upgraded to a second rounder. Who knows?
Right.
But yeah, we'll see. Certainly we could use something. We still don't know what's up with Trevor Harris, how long he's going to be out. And, the problem is if you're bringing in a quarterback, it's going to take a while to learn that playbook.
Well, there is one that kind of knows the playbook, at least a little.
He does know it a little bit.
A little bit. He knows how to dance on the sidelines.
He really does.
Yeah, and he's got a really, really nice green shell.
Hey, it's Franklin.
He does. A green shell and a gold heart.
That's what I'm thinking. Yes, that'd be great. You know why it would be great to have James back here?
Mine.
Yeah, so I mean, is there an outside possibility that happens? Sure, but I think a lot of it is, as per usual, I think the trade deadline will pass. It'll be pretty quiet, but like you said, you just don't know. If we don't know how long Harris is going to be out, and we got to see Briscoe a little bit, but he definitely needs some more seasoning. He's very first year and just hasn't really had a lot of time in the Canadian
vanilla
game.
Playbook.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he came late last year at the end there,
right? But still, that's not a ton of time, and he's just learning. So.
Got a strong arm.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he's got a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
The trick is can he get it where the receiver can catch it?
Right.
Yeah. So
and working on timing and everything else. So.
Absolutely. So there's a faint possibility of some moves there.
You never know.
I don't see much in the way of other moves around the league. I don't think there's a whole lot of teams that are thinking, wow, let's pick up some of those Argo players after the way that it's gone. So I can't imagine there's a whole lot of movement.
Yeah, especially with so many 1-year contracts. Mm-hmm. Are you trading for somebody that you're going to have
a full
work
shot
in there?
at?
Yeah, you're going to have a couple of games where they learn the playbook and maybe work in for the playoffs.
Right.
So how much are you willing to give up for 1 or 2 games?
That's true. Yeah, very true. All right, well, let's dive into it, shall we? Edmonton gets destroyed 42-12 in Hamilton. This game was not close.
No, it was certainly closer than another game this week.
Absolutely,
But if
yes.
you've got the bar set that kind of low, well...
Yeah. And the thing is at halftime, I was saying to the gang I was hanging out with, which, by the way, thanks to everyone that came to first round, Matt and Linda and Tree and Greg and Maria. It was great to meet you guys, and Michelle, of course, there with Matt. And it was it was good to have a crowd to kind of hang out with as we watched that. The few moments of cheering. But
and then the game started.
That's right. Exactly. But at halftime, it wasn't as bad as it was when they played here. And I thought, okay, well, maybe those second half adjustments and we'll see what happens. And not so much.
I mean, one thing you got to look at is I think Hamilton is probably the most complete team in the league right now.
Right now, absolutely.
I mean, it's saying you lost to Hamilton, everybody can say that because they've beaten every team. They're the only team that has beaten the other 8 teams.
Right. Okay.
So again...
And us twice.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams twice.
Yes.
To be fair. They don't have a lot of losses.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah. They're
Damn Eastern teams always picking on the West.
Well played. Well played. Somebody out east is thinking that's...
Oh, yeah, we got to go down to one division.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about some of the not so great things in this game.
Okay, it's going to be a long podcast.
Sure could, but I'm going to keep it a little bit under control. I'll let you start, though. What was the most perplexing thing to you?
Oh, my God. Some of those penalties yet again are just killing me.
Yeah, I think this one... Yeah, we had 10 penalties for 108 yards.
And it just... I don't know. When you've got a big scrum and everyone's in it and... There's fighting going on, and one team gets the penalty and the other team doesn't. I still don't get that.
I don't get that either.
And of all the people that get a penalty...
Yeah, Calvin
in his 200th game.
Yes.
That's just not him, so I don't understand. I mean, if he's doing something, something happened.
Well, that was the play, supposedly, that CJ hurt his knee.
Right.
And, I mean, he's 3 yards short of 1,000. Yep. Not that they would know that, but they knew how big the game was, and it's his teammate, and I think he was sticking up for his teammate.
Yep.
But I don't understand how the whistle goes, they keep pushing, they drop him on the ground, then there's the scrum, and there's one penalty.
Right.
Really? Like,
and yet another game.
At least a balance. Like, at least offsetting, I could have said, okay, I get it. But that was a little ridiculous to say the least. Yeah. The biggest thing for me in this game, and I don't understand it after the last 2 other games, why are we going for the long ball? Why? I get once or twice to keep them honest.
Yep.
But seriously, 3 interceptions, and 2 of them were on bombs.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one turned into a pick 6
it was a tip, yeah.
It was a tip. It was another Nate Bahar special.
Yeah.
And
without being Nate Bahar.
No, I think it was Tavon Smith.
It was.
So, Tavon.
Canadian receivers.
I don't know what's going on there. But I don't understand.
We love Canadian receivers.
We do. Yes. I cannot fathom. To me, it is as perplexing as telling Strevler to throw inside the 20-yard line. Why would you do that?
How'd that work out for them?
Not so well.
No.
And not so well for us either.
No.
So again, I get... I don't want to take away from the fact that you have to keep the defense honest. So you've got to go long a couple of times.
But you've also got to plan it so that you're going to make it so that it's hard for the interception, right? It's got to be incomplete or a catch.
Exactly.
Those are your choices.
But throwing into double coverage 40 yards down the field where your receiver goes the wrong way, which, to be fair, that could have been a wrong route and he just threw it where he's supposed to go. But do you not see there's 2 guys there? And again, just the long ball continues to kill this team right now.
Yeah.
When are we having the modicum of success that we're having? 7-8 yards.
Yeah.
15 yards even. I'm okay with that. Throw it out to the side. I hate swing passes, but hey, at least we know we can connect on it.
Yeah.
And it's just that long one is just killing us, and I don't understand why we keep going back to it.
I don't know. I mean, I was on Esks fans earlier and noticing that of the 15 games we played, we have had more penalties than the other team in 13 of them, and we tied in one.
Wow.
So there is only one game where we had less penalties than the other team.
Wow. Yeah, that's a big problem.
And then Ben, who was on the podcast last year? Or before?
Yeah, firefighter Ben.
Yeah, and he was saying, the record that Jason Moss has had before, was it August 13th, 2017, versus his record after is night and day. Before, we had like 27 wins and 14 losses, something like that. And he picked that day because that's the day that Jason Moss tried to get his temper.
That's when he said on 6:30 Chat he was going to...
Right. Yeah. And since then, we've played incredibly poorly. And that's with two different quarterbacks. So it's with virtually different teams.
500 team.
Yeah.
Like, at best.
Right? And we're way under.
Right. Oh, since that time.
Since that time.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, it's pretty...
Be who you are and just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Got to do something.
Got to do something. Yeah.
Because I honestly don't know what 2020 is going... I don't have 2020 vision. So,
nice.
You're welcome.
Okay. Dad joke.
Yep. I don't know what it's going to be like next year for our staff, for our players. What?
I don't know if it'll be the same staff. That's the thing. I think you won for best text of the weekend when you said that you hope Bradbury doesn't ref the last game because why draw out the firing another half an hour? But that was outstanding. Now, this game, though, we'll go back to this game. It wasn't just on the offense.
No.
Defense could not stop the run this game. Hamilton gets 178 yards on the ground. I don't think Sutton, he barely had a run that was under 10 yards.
Well, I think his average at one point was 8. So he had to have something under 10 yards. But yes.
But still, that's
and we
ridiculous.
Had like 3.
It was ridiculous.
4. Yeah. I mean, he's a great back.
Absolutely.
No question. But
Oski Wee Wee.
Fire trucker.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, so, yeah, he really lived up to that, didn't he?
He sure did. Now, someone actually, again, on Esks fans posted that we were tied for penalties on offense. We were tied for penalties on defense. But we had 6 penalties on special teams.
Oh, man.
And that's what killed us.
Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have to keep starting on your own 10 and 20 yard line.
Well, that's it. And that's why I think people always say, well, how come we play so well between the 20s? It's because we're starting inside our 20.
All the time.
And then, I mean, if you're having to pass for 80, 90 yards every play,
right,
eventually you're going to run out of room. So if you could start it at your 40 and you're passing for 80 yards, you're 10 yards into the end zone.
That's right, yes.
So maybe that's a large part of it. But that's Jason Moss has always said, all he wants from the special teams is to catch the ball and not turn it over.
Right. Yep.
Maybe we need a different approach.
Maybe a touch.
Because everyone else seems to have it, and it's working.
It seems to be, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Hamilton gets 6 sacks this game.
Yeah.
Another game of only runs up the middle.
Yep.
Does this sound awfully familiar to you?
It really does. Bunch of penalties.
Oh.
Not great special teams.
No. And
lots of runs up the middle.
Right. Not so good.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough when we have so many changes that in personnel, and there's a lot of communication that needs to happen between the offensive line, between the secondary, and when you're changing.
But the offensive line was consistent this week. Like,
how many sacks against us?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah, well,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm just surprised because they had now. Part of that is Hamilton's D-line is amazing.
It's outstanding, but we also have a guy who's naturally more of a right guard playing left tackle.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. For 2 games in a row. Yeah. Yeah. Needlessly, I do have a what the moment.
Oh,
yes.
Just one.
Yeah. We finally get the TD in the game, and then we're not ready for the convert. Oh, Nate.
Too busy celebrating.
Love you, dude, but seriously,
burning a timeout.
Yeah, that's
another thing that gets me is we've had how many 2-point convert attempts this year?
I think 0. One? Okay, I was going to say I couldn't even remember.
And the league average is like 1.2 points per 2-point convert attempt.
Right. Yeah. At least you got to start trying. Like
you have to because honestly, it's simple math according to my friend Glenn VB, who's a math teacher.
Yes.
It's just simple math. Like if you're getting 0.8 points per 1-point convert and 1.2 per 2, Take them.
Exactly.
How many 2-point converts did Hamilton have?
3?
That were successful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they just keep trying.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is like if you're getting that's 6 points versus 3.
Yeah. Well, and I get it. Sean White's amazing. He hits them, which is outstanding.
Yeah,
it's great. But yeah, you need something to charge it up, right? That was my good for the game. Kinger and White.
They were excellent.
Yeah. Kinger
had a tackle on special teams.
And a tackle on special. It was a nice tackle too.
Yep.
White 2 for 2. Hugh. Yeah. White's now up to 20 consecutive field goals.
He is.
These are exciting. Kwaku with 2 sacks, one with a good celebration and one with a one.
Yeah.
Okay, dude, you're not Shakira.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I got to say.
His hips don't lie.
Well, I think he believes that. But
so I might argue.
I like the home run. I'm a big fan of the home run. I just don't know about that. Jed Roberts put on Facebook that he wasn't sure if the Eskimos are going to win another game this season. Or they may not win another game till 2020 is what he said. And I think a lot of us as fans are feeling that after that game.
You're always going to be down after.
Absolutely. Right after the
whooping.
game. Yeah. But
you think Toronto feels are going to win any games between now and 2020?
See, to them, doesn't matter. They're out.
No, they are out, but it's just it is. Yeah. Like in the place where you need the most, the biggest help getting people, that is not helping.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Even an away game, but still.
Still, absolutely. It was a huge beatdown. What I commented on there, and I just want your opinion on this, because I said that the thing for me is that it seems like the team this year is just having a really hard time overcoming adversity. They started out hot. They were playing well. You could see they were all laughing and joking and playing much better.
Playing for each other. And
lots of execute. All those things that they said they were doing in training camp to build that feel.
Yep.
And then the losses started to mount. And I understand. I mean, you're losing.
It snowballs.
Yeah. But there was just it was like there was no rebound. Like, right. I just didn't see... Like, it was so quick to go into, here we go again.
Yeah, which I don't get, because 2 games ago we were down 24-0.
Right.
To this same Hamilton team. Came back and tied at 24 all, 27-27.
Right.
And it was just the, doink off the field, the goalpost in.
Right.
Otherwise, this thing goes to overtime. So
that is true. Yeah.
I do see it there. I know it's there. I just don't understand... When you're that deflated, it's like, I don't know. And again, it was more or less the same group of people, too.
Yeah, exactly.
This is still with Logan Kilgore at quarterback. This is still with, the same receivers, the same defensive line.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I'd just like to, I'd love to. I just want to see them play for each other this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a huge thing. Did you have a player of the game?
On our team?
Correct.
Oh, well, then no. You know what?
That's fair.
Yeah, I would probably... The defensive line got some sacks. So,
yes.
I would probably give that to Kwaku.
Okay.
Not for the celebration.
No. Well, not the one. The other one was fine. Second one was fine. Yeah. I might actually give it to Milk Truck on special teams.
Yeah, he had a good game.
Because he was down there... Yeah. He's popping up, doing the Jed Roberts throw his arms in the air.
Right.
So good for him. That was outstanding. Yeah. But yeah, it's always good to see him go down and grab a few tackles.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
if we can get Stefan Charles rotated in there, having a guy that can play defensive tackle that's Canadian, that's great for depth.
Absolutely. All right, let's take a very quick break, and then we will come back with this week's CFPN Game Preview, our pick'ems and fantasy picks for this week.
Hey, this is Earthquaku, and you're listening to the Eskimo Empire Podcast.
You can join the Empire online.
Find us at eskempire.ca.
Check out all the new blogs and then follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
For more history, follow at Esks History on Twitter.
And even more of my picks on Esk Empire Photo.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to help the pod grow. Thanks again for listening. Let's get back to the show. Welcome back. This episode is also brought to you by the ATB no-fee all-in digital account. Want digital banking that works for you? Sign up for an ATB no-fee all-in account. By doing most of your banking digitally, you'll avoid paper fees, monthly fees, and get unlimited digital transactions. It's 24/7 banking at its finest. For more details, check out atb.com.
I've got one of them.
You
Those
do?
Accounts, yeah.
Attaboy. There you go.
It's very handy.
It is super handy. Absolutely. So that's, get a personal stamp of approval from Superfan.
That's
Mike.
right.
Go in there, tell them Superfan Mike sent you.
That's right. You will get an extra nothing.
An extra nothing.
Yes.
Maybe they'll have one of those fancy Tim Hortons cards
Maybe
you were
they
showing
will.
on. An ATB Eskimos card.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
come on now.
That's the winner right there,
This needs
isn't
to
it?
happen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to our CFPN Game Preview. So they are back on the brick field at Commonwealth Stadium for the second last home game of the year. Can you believe we're down to 2 left?
It's true.
Oh, my goodness. And, of course, it's BC Lions Unappreciation Night, and it starts at 5 o'clock. Can I just say how much I love that ad campaign?
Oh, it's great. It's really well done.
Yes. Every now and again, the Esks come up with, and that's a good one. I like that one quite a bit.
The social media teams, I've noticed, have really risen their game over the last few years.
Yeah, and the Argos guys need
Toronto
a
one.
pat on the back for
that was outstanding. You want the
Scribbling out
score? Just Google it.
Send us dog pics.
Yeah.
That was so well done.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. All right, so the game starts at 5, so the tailgate should be open around 2:30. And Superfan, the menu this week?
Chili in a bread bowl.
And then I ate the bowl.
That's right.
That's all for Travis Cura.
Yeah. The chili is not all for Travis Cura.
Okay, that's because he'd probably eat it in the eating contest.
He'd give it a try.
That's right.
I don't know if I would want to be.
It's a very large cross.
Sleeping in the same room as him afterwards. But
no,
yeah.
Poor Taylor. Yeah, you can't do that to her. Now, if he's going to be spending the night with Ty, we might do it just for fun.
Oh,
here, this is all yours, Trav.
That's right.
Anyway, it should be open at 2:30, and we will have the early game on there. The Uncle BD stats moment for this game. As we said earlier, Sean White has made his last 20 field goals. Esks have swept the series with the Lions 14 times overall.
Unfortunately, not last year. That would have been helpful.
It sure would have been. Last being, of course, 2017.
The year before, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So we will need to do that if they really want a shot at that playoff spot, as far as I'm concerned.
I think Sean White's had a really good streak against the Lions, no less. So that's
that's excellent
even
to hear.
better. I would love to see us continue that. However, I'd also like to see him get a whole bunch of
converts.
Yeah, converts would be
well,
great.
not if we're going for 2.
That's true. Even better.
Yeah, let's give
him a night off.
Come on. Poor Sean. His legs really been worked out this year. He can get like 2-3 field goals, and then we can just go for 2 on the other 6 touchdowns. Right?
Just all touchdowns.
Beautiful.
10 in a row.
Love it.
Perfect.
Excellent. Also, I guess Sean's only 50 away from the record, so...
See, there you go.
He's well on his way.
Right.
That's all we needed. Now, for the Lions side of the ball, we welcome back our West Coast friend, Brian Walrishan from the BCLionsDen podcast. Welcome back to the Turf District. How's it going, man?
I'm doing excellent, Andrew. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And much happier call this time than the last time we spoke, as your Lions are on a bit of a roll right now.
Yeah, it's tough to figure it out, actually. I'm kind of struggling with it because while we have won 4 in a row, 2 were against Ottawa, 1 was against Montreal without Vernon Adams, and of course a very bad Argonauts performance last night at BC Place. So cautiously optimistic is the word I'm using, I guess, or the phrase I'm using, I guess, because we'll find out next week in Edmonton if this team is for real or not.
Well, I think the thing is that they're beating the teams that they should be beating. And I think we said that at the beginning of the season with the Eskimos too. I mean, yes, we had the softer schedule early on, but hey, at least we were winning those games and not losing them. And that's the same thing that BC is doing. The thing for me though, and something that I think makes me a lot nervous is BC winning all of these games. When you have Mike Riley at the helm and they start to pick up momentum, that can be a pretty scary thing.
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate part, right, is we didn't have these games at the beginning of the season when the team really needed to try and find an identity and try to gel together. We got them on the back end of the season, so we really struggled against the West early, and it kind of put us out of the race. So, hey, that's the way the schedule goes, and we're still in it until we're not. So, the big game coming up this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge game as, of course, the 4-point swing could make a huge difference in a matter of making the playoffs or not, as the case might be. So give us a little bit of an idea here. Obviously, the big connections have been Mike Riley to Brian Burnham, who is having another monster year. But what else has changed on this offense that in these last 4 games that has really started to put it all together?
Well, I think the big thing is that Kelly Bates has come in and really improved the offensive line. I mean, it's the same guys that are playing out there. We haven't been playing a pass rush like the Eskimos or the Bombers or the Riders. So, again, we reserve judgment until we see what we do against some of the higher echelon teams in the league. But, I think Kelly Bates has come in and just provided a different approach for this offensive line. And for whatever reason, maybe Brian Chu's message wasn't getting across to these guys, and Kelly Bates is reportedly a very detail-oriented offensive line coach. He was under the tutelage of Dan Durazio for many years, and many feel like Dan Durazio is kind of like an offensive line guru. So he's learned from one of the best in the business, and he also played a lot of years and has some experience as well. So. I think that's been the biggest issue. I think the Lions have given up like 5 sacks in the last 4 games or something like that, and which is a big improvement over the first 11 games of the season. So that's obviously been the biggest difference, because when Mike Riley, as you guys know very well, gets time to throw the football, he can kill you.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was airing it out pretty nicely last night. Lots of fantasy people were very excited to have him in their lineups last night.
Yeah, and he was sick too, so he'll be even healthier next week.
Well, all right. Well, let's not talk about our quarterback. Okay. I think the other part of it too, I've noticed this, the defensive line has been significantly different since the addition of Sean Lemon. Tell us a little bit about what he brings to the team and what you've noticed as far as the pass rush is concerned.
Yeah, we had him on our show last week because, obviously he's been as you say, the defensive line has completely done a 180, since his arrival. They are giving up a little bit more rushing yards because they've moved Odella Willis inside, so we're a little small on the inside, and I'm sure the Eskimos will be trying to exploit that, as the Montreal Alouettes did with William Stanback racking up 147 a couple weeks ago. But they did a pretty good job last night against James Wilder, and I think that Sean Lemon he's just a pure pass rusher, right? He's just a pass rusher that knows how to get to the quarterback, and I think the Lions were really struggling with that. Teams could just key on Odell Willis on the one side and not really worry about what was coming from the other side, but now they can't do that. And Sean Lemon, he just produces everywhere he goes, and we asked him on our show last week, why is it that you produce everywhere you go but you can't seem to find a home in this league? And he just kind of chuckled and said, I don't know, man, it's been like that my whole career. I'm struggling to get respect, and I've always had to fight for what I get, and hopefully this is my last stop. So we hope so too, because the same thing happened last year. Sean Lemon came in and completely turned the defense around. He did it again this year, and hopefully Ed Hervey sees the worth in Sean Lemon now, because he's certainly made a difference here.
Absolutely. I think, though, too, or at least I feel, early in the year, that secondary was getting torched quite a bit, even though they do have some really good talent when you talk about TJ Lee and Aaron Grimes. Do you find that there's a big change back there as well?
Well, I do, because, once you get a pass rush, those guys don't have to cover as long.
Right.
If the quarterback's got all day to sit back and wait for his receivers to run routes and come open, it makes it awfully tough on your secondary if they have to cover for longer than they should have to cover for. So I think once you get pressure on the quarterback, and that kind of tightens everything up right down the line of the defense. The linebackers play better, the secondary plays better. There's less work that these guys have to do. So they've really started to crank things up here, and came 6 seconds. I think it was 6 seconds left on the clock from a shutout last night. So they've been playing some great defense, and last night they were flying around really, really good.
Awesome. Well, I know this is going to be a super intense game with both of these teams knowing all of the things that are on the line. What would you say are the keys to the game for the Lions this week?
Well, they got to overcome the beatings that they took earlier in the season. I think there's always that mental aspect to the game where you get whooped like the Lions got whooped by the Eskimos earlier this year. That's got to be sitting in their heads, and they can either use that as motivation or they can let it get to them and maybe be a little spooked to start the game. I think the Lions have to start quickly. I think they have to pounce on the Eskimos. Take advantage of Trevor Harris not playing if that's going to be the case. And, we certainly hope it is. But, I think it's going to be a tough game. I mean, I think all the pressure's on the Eskimos in this game. I mean, they're playing at home. If they lose this game, the Lions will be 2 points back, and they've got Saskatchewan back-to-back to end their season. So, I think this is the game the Eskimos have to win if they want to control their own fate.
I 100% agree, and they're going into a bye week, so they have a week where they have no control. So this is this is absolutely a monster game for both teams. So
yeah, and the Lions have games at home against Calgary and Saskatchewan, but the difference there, the Lions also have a bye in these final weeks here. But the difference there is the Lions are at home, and I think they've started to develop some real confidence at BC Place over these last few games. And they should. They played well. So I think that's a little bit of an advantage that the Lions have is both of their games are at home. So, if they can get this one this weekend, I think, the butt cheeks will be getting a little tight on the Eskimos.
As if they aren't already. Come on. Thank you as always, Brian, for joining us and giving us your BC Lions insight. We hugely appreciate it. Plug your show so everyone knows where they can listen to more BC Lions stuff.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Always a pleasure. BCLionsDen.ca. You can find all our content there, as well as the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/BCLionsDen.ca, at BCLionsDen on Twitter, at MojoKemp on Twitter. And, of course, you can find the podcast on any podcast app that you're familiar with. So please listen and download and spread the word. And thanks a lot, Andrew. It's always a pleasure.
Absolutely, man. And, I usually I would say here, I wish you the best of luck next week. But really, I'm kind of just hoping that if we win, then we're in. So I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to hope that it's a good game. And I'm going to look forward to the fact that you and I are going to be hanging out in November in Calgary.
You bet.
Thanks again to Brian. And of course, listen to all of the great pods on the CF Pod Network.
Always cool to talk to the PodFather.
Absolutely. He, And, it's nice because he's giddy right now.
Yes. We were too once.
What?
Those were good times. Halcyon days.
That's great. That's excellent. Let's talk about the Esks side of the ball. What do the Eskimos need to do to win this game?
Prayer.
That's probably helpful. That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah.
No, seriously. Again, we really don't know what this BC Lions team is. I mean, you look at their...
We don't know what the Eskimos are either, but yes.
Don't we?
Well,
we are who we think we are.
Something like that.
But again, BC's been beating up on the same teams that we beat up on.
Right.
We shut out Toronto.
Right.
They've played Toronto a couple of times. They played Ottawa a couple of times.
Yes.
They played, it's at this point, I don't know who they are yet because it's been a while since they've played a playoff team.
Right. Yes.
Then again, we are 6-0 versus teams not in the playoffs if they were to start today.
Yes.
And we are 1-8 versus teams that are in the playoffs if they started today. And our one win was against the first game against Montreal.
Right.
Before, it was with Antonio Pipkin.
That's right, yes.
So it wasn't...
Oh, Pipkin?
Yes, wasn't the veg.
That's right. Yeah. Thank you for throwing that in. All right. Well, and that's very true. So then what do we do to win it?
Well, that's just it, is we don't know where they are. So if they are at the same level we are, now to be fair, they have their starting quarterback, last one standing.
That's unreal, isn't it?
That would have been a hell of a Vegas bet, I'm telling you.
The last quarterback standing.
We'll have to ask Brazilian Ty if he made a bet on that, because he would have cleaned up.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, if he actually did make a bet on that, he'd still be like running around naked somewhere. Yeah, he'd be still.
To be fair, even if he won the bet, he'd be doing the same thing.
It's a good point. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I think it's really going to come down to, and Brian said it in the his preview side. that the offensive line has just been that much better.
Yep.
So,
but again, not going against strong.
Exactly. Can we prove them wrong? I think that's going to be a huge thing. Can we put that pressure back on Riley? Because early in the season, you learned if that pressure is there, BC has a hard time getting anything going.
Yeah. What I'd like to see is our offense, the offensive coordinator, both Maximic and Moss, putting something together to work more to put us in positions to succeed. Instead of just saying, okay, we're going to use the same offensive game plan with a different quarterback. And that makes a huge difference.
Absolutely.
So I'd rather see a little more misdirection, certainly more of that short to medium game, but use both sides of the field, multiple receivers. And you know what? Let's get some more running in there. Can we get Cooper in there to play a little longer?
Well, and the other part of it is we don't know the health status of CJ Gable at this point.
Well, the health status of a few players, yeah.
Yeah, so we could be starting Shaq Cooper.
Yep.
And if we are, well, he can run both sides, inside and out. Yep. So let him go both ways, and you know what I mean.
I was thinking it's back to the 50s where all the players went both ways.
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah, I meant just on offense.
Yeah.
Outside and inside is what I meant. Yes.
It's like, he'll be really tired.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And, BC has been a little bit susceptible to the run. So
sure.
Maybe we can get a few yards out of that.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, well, we'll take it. Which player are you watching this week?
Which player am I not watching this week?
Well, yeah, all of them is always the answer.
I'm going to be watching Money Hunter.
Fair enough.
And I want to see him have a clean game.
Wow. We're not talking about fantasy football
This
yet.
is my challenge.
Okay, that is a challenge.
I want to see him have a clean game. He's been playing with Josh Johnson back on that side.
Right.
I think the two of them are a really good combo.
Mm-hmm.
He just got to rein in it a little bit. He can still play his game, but he's just got to not do any stupid penalties. Nothing selfish.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So if he has no penalties, but then his coverage suffers.
Yeah, see, that wasn't part of it.
Okay, that's what I'm just checking to see what you mean by clean is just no penalties.
If he misses his coverage and someone gets a long ball, or he gets his coverage but he gets pass interference, there's no difference.
I guess that's true. Yeah. All right. So we'll go with clean game.
Yeah, and no 15-yarders.
All right. Yeah. Let's try and get away from those. All right, I am going to go over to the other side of the ball, and I am going to say that I'm watching Logan Kilgore. This is game 4 now?
Correct.
That he's starting. We got to start getting the reads together. Stop throwing into double coverage.
He's going to, at this point, he'll have had 4 weeks of first-team reps.
Right.
Yeah, we've got to see some real progression.
Absolutely.
And I think he can do it. It's just... love to see again. This is a guy that wasn't playing the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, and we saw in that, like we said, that first game against Hamilton in that third quarter, they were tearing it up,
and he got his win versus Ottawa as well. So I mean, he's certainly he can put some stuff together.
But let's see that. Let's see play to his strength.
Yeah.
You do not need the 40-yard bombs.
Nope.
No. 1 or 2 to set the tone.
And again, make sure when you're throwing those bombs, it goes to the receiver's outside shoulders.
Absolutely. And it's 1 receiver and 1 defender. Don't be throwing it into the middle of the field.
Or, to be fair, 1 receiver and no defender, I'm okay with that.
That's a good one. Actually, that's true. I'll take that. But yeah, I think that's where I'm waiting to see that progression now.
Yep.
We need to see him go in there. Do you want to set the prop bet this week?
All right.
What stat are you picking?
Penalties.
Oh, God. Okay.
Over under.
All right.
11.5.
Oh, man. 11.5 penalties?
Yes, sir.
Against BC.
Correct. In a high-pressure game.
Yeah, in a high-pressure game.
I was going to go sacks, and I thought, no, let's go a little different.
Yeah. Well, we're probably good for at least 2 roughing the passers. At least. I mean,
Riley will bob back up again somehow.
Absolutely. Somehow he will just get back up. I'm going to say under. I'm going to say under 11.5.
I've got to believe it's going to be under.
Okay.
I have to.
I was going to say, that was a really high line.
It was.
I was thinking you'd go like 8.5 or something like 11.
Have you watched the last few games? Because don't forget, that also includes no yards. That includes holding on kicks.
Yes. Yeah, but we've been keeping the number of them down recently, just not the yardage part.
Yeah, didn't we have 10 last game?
We had 10 this game.
That's the game we just had?
Yeah, 10 in the game we just had. 8 the week before. 5 the week before.
How did we do against BC, though?
Not so well. Yeah, all right. That's fair. All right, well, we shall see how it works.
Yep.
Let's get to our pick'ems. In our league, Derek has taken the lead.
Well,
he's taken the lead away from...
This D-Mappy?
That's right. That's the one.
What a boy.
He's taking it up there. Mike, you are in 9th.
I dropped a couple of spots.
I moved up to 37th.
Hey, 37?
I know.
In a row? Okay.
No, not even close. Yeah, I moved up one place.
I moved down 2.
Big moves this time of year.
Bonus points, or some people are picked all 4. I did not.
Oh, wow. Well, you picked, you got some... Obviously, it's got to be bonus points. That's why.
Yeah, it's got to be. I don't think a lot of people picked Montreal to win that one.
No, but they did.
Certainly not out of the flight deck.
I was okay. I was okay with them winning that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our first game then is Ottawa versus Toronto. This is in Toronto.
Oh, the toilet bowl.
The battle of who can be worse. Who do you got?
This is a tough one for sure. Ottawa still has something to play for.
Absolutely.
Toronto has pride to play for and home fans, and they are smarting after that loss.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And they did beat Ottawa in the last game they played. I think we're going to see Macbeth playing.
Probably.
I'm hoping that's because they don't have the option because their other quarterback is gone west.
I hope so too. Really hope so. Make my jersey something I can wear again.
Complete right. Andrew.
That's right, yes.
You complete me.
God, if that happened, could you imagine how quickly I'd be at practice to do that interview?
Every day.
Oh my God, he's back! Sorry, okay.
Is that them saying it about you?
Probably. Yeah.
Probably. Sign me right here. Over my heart.
God.
Not a video podcast.
Not a video podcast.
Yeah, you know what? I think that I'm going to take Toronto in this one.
All right.
Much as everything in my head says no. If they were playing anyone else, I don't think I would, but against Ottawa, I think I'm going to take them.
Well, this is interesting because we have an Empire sweep on that. Kayla picked Toronto, as did I. So that's very interesting. I wasn't sure. I was going back and forth just with Ottawa coming off the bye. Mm-hmm. But honestly, I think if they do put Macbeth in there, we know he can put up some yards. And the Ottawa defense is still hurting, especially with they're missing their safety.
Rose as well.
Yeah. What was the number 9? Pruno. That's it. Yeah, missing Pruno. So I think I think it'll be close, but I think that Toronto finds a way to pull that off.
Again, at home.
Exactly. Next game in a Friday night doubleheader. Oh, thank you. I love Friday night doubleheaders.
Me too.
It's outstanding. Calgary versus Saskatchewan. This one is in Calgary.
Oh, that is one pissed off Stampeder team.
You think? Yeah. So Kayla picked the Stampeders. I also am picking the Stampeders. Coming back home, they play well at McMahon.
They do.
And you're right. They're going to be grumpy after last week. They're going to have something. They're going to need to have something to prove.
Yes.
I'll be very interested to see how that Calgary D plays against Fajardo, because they played so well against him earlier in the season. So this will be an interesting test.
I think this could be a really close game of the week.
I think it could go either way, but I'm gonna pick the Stamps only because they're at home.
Sounds good.
And you?
Break out the brooms. I think we're going to see a sweep here.
Oh, wow.
All three of us picking the same team.
Oh, okay. I thought you were calling for that.
I know.
Oh, wow.
I liked it. Just pull the rug up.
You did. Yeah. That was an excellent.
Yeah, no, I think that for all the reasons you mentioned, the Stampeders are at home. They are not happy.
Yeah,
they are in a pissed off mood. And I think that, it's going to be two really good teams. If, Saskatchewan wins, they virtually lock up first place.
Yes.
So Calgary has got everything to play for. I mean, so does Saskatchewan, but...
Yeah. Well, we shall see.
It'll
be very interesting. Next game, which of course is the early game prior to our game, so we'll be playing it on the screen, and is the Montreal Alouettes visiting the Blue Bombers in Winnipeg.
Oh, it's an exciting one.
Oh my goodness. Superfan, you get to go first this time.
You know, the Bombers had such a strong start, and they have really, really tailed off. As much as Matt Nichols gets the game manager tag, he is the kind of quarterback they've designed that offense around. And you have a quarterback...
Well, he can actually throw the ball.
You have a quarterback in Strevler that is just a running back in quarterback's clothing sometimes.
Right. Which they don't use inside the 20 for some reason.
No, I don't understand why they don't do way more RPOs, run play options, run pass options. For whatever reason it isn't. Maybe they're going to do a lot more that time, but I think Montreal is really riding a wave here, and I think they're going to take it in the Winnipeg.
Wow. All right, then. And we have yet another sweep.
Ooh, look at this.
Wow, this is the third. We don't usually have it where we all pick the same.
No,
actually, no, you know what? Hang on. I picked Montreal. Oh, I was wrong. Kayla picked the Bombers.
Oh,
Kayla picked the Bombers at home, which is weird because she always picks Montreal. That's why I was so confused. But yeah, I went with Montreal as well. I think Vernon Adams just has this team playing on another level, and Kahari Jones has them having fun.
Bowman has been playing phenomenal on that. I mean,
just fountain of youth, that guy right now. So, and that defense in the second half against Calgary, like Calgary was hitting every long ball in the world in the first half, and in the second half they didn't even score a point.
Right.
Like, yeah, that Montreal D it's nothing to mess around with.
No, it is not.
So yeah, I'm going to go Montreal, and Kayla is going with the Bombers.
I guess we'll see.
All right, we shall see.
That's why they play the games.
Absolutely. And we all know who we're picking in the last one, and it's going to be the under.
There we go.
11.5 penalties.
I really hope
God, it better be under. If it's over, we're all crying next week.
Hey, if it's over and we win, I don't care.
Well, that's true. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, if BC gets 15 and we get 12.
That's fine, too.
That's fine, maybe. Yeah.
Again, if we win.
Correct. Yes.
If we get 0 penalties, but we lose.
Yeah. Still crying.
Yes.
Yes. All right, then. CFPN Fantasy League. I went to 11-6 after taking down BCLionsDen.
Well done, sir.
Week. And you go to 5-12 after getting past Sheldon with that last Riley
on a streak.
Lovely. Yeah. This week, Empire Civil War Part 2.
True.
It's a little weird. We have to play each other.
It is.
Like, yeah, well, any chance you're just going to throw that to give me first place?
Well, it is fantasy. You can have any fantasy you want.
Thanks. I do appreciate that. I'm not asking you for your picks because I don't want to seem like I'm cheating when I beat you.
Normally I'd say, wow, that's awfully bold. But, to be fair.
What, you're not going 82-0 like the Oilers? No way.
Sure not.
All right, then.
I could still make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's absolutely you could.
I don't think I'm mathematically eliminated if everyone else loses.
I don't think you are. No.
Probably, yeah. But that's okay.
I don't know. Anyway.
I will live in this fantasy.
From what I understand, we are going to be playing playoffs during the playoffs.
Yes.
So so this is all, like these last few weeks, there's still a lot of seeding to go and a lot of guys that you don't know if they're going to play or not. So
I have no doubt that I could, if I wanted, get a bunch of help from Ryan Coop.
Yes.
And
probably
Travis. Give me all kinds of, who you should pick.
Hey, now, you bastards better not be giving Mike any hints. That's not very nice. Yeah. Well, whatever they tell you, just do the opposite because you like me more. No?
Nope.
All right. Well,
all's fair in love, war, and fantasy.
That's right. Absolutely. In the Empire League, Baltic Fox has a very comfortable lead in our league, and I am third, and you are 35th. So you're making a move up as well.
There you go. I'm a couple higher than you in Pick'em.
Absolutely. See? It's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Very exciting. Well, this was fun. Thanks, man. I'm impressed.
It's cathartic.
It really is. It does make us feel better. We get a good laugh. I think
sugar and alcohol helps.
Line of the show of how do they win the game prayers? I think that's really the line of the show. Tell everyone where they can find you again on the Twitters.
On the Twitterverse, they can find me at 56 Parkies.
Perfect. And of course, you can find Commissioner Kayla at Duchess Lombardi. And of course, you can find me at Freepalicious. Follow Pay It Forward with Football on Facebook and get all those nominations in for these last couple of games.
Of course, great initiative this year.
Absolutely. And we've loved every minute of it.
Yes.
And I'm excited to get hear the announcement for the Grey Cup and hanging out with some of those people down there. It's just outstanding.
Awesome.
And Quentin and Samantha, thank you for giving us that this year. It was outstanding to watch and be a part of. So that was great. Make sure, of course, you check out all the great shows on the Alberta Podcast Network at albertapodcastnetwork.com and find all of our social channels. And, of course, you can find all of the links and the old shows on eskempire.ca. We will be back next week with hopefully another return guest.
That'll be exciting.
I know, it's always fun. And, of course, because it is that weekend, I do want to say happy Thanksgiving to you all. We are thankful to all of you for listening and, of course, the continued great people we meet through the CFL family.
It's all about the family.
Absolutely. So, you know what? The question is exactly the same as it was last week. Is it time to find a big win and punch a playoff ticket?
Absolutely.
Absolutely it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
totally.
Okay, that's better. Okay. For Commissioner Kayla and Superfan Mike, I'm Andrew. Remember, you can't catch footballs with your face, and we will absolutely talk to you next week.
Thanks for listening. Find more great shows like this at CF Pod Network on Twitter.